Hi guys, Gary here for GenVFX. Welcome to this late coming tutorial. It's been a while, I've been very, very busy. Some of it's even been paid. Doing lots of different jobs with all different various places and new projects and things that I never would have actually dreamed would have been possible. And they've just been coming at me, and that's been absolutely fabulous. As I said, some of them have been paid. But I need to get back to doing these tutorials because I love doing them and I haven't done them for a while. But luckily for me, a lot of the work I've been doing recently has actually introduced me to a lot of new things in Blender, things that I would always do in Maya, and I've always been concerned that when I got to doing this kind of thing in Blender, it would not be as good, and consequently finding that not only is it the same, as things are pretty much fundamentally, you can be pretty much software agnostic when you learn certain things, because you just find out the process of making it again. But that's not quite the same with Blender. Definitely, it moved across without any trouble for the rigging side. But some of the things in Blender are just much more sensible. Yeah. I'll come to it, I promise. But right now, let's stop talking, let me stop talking more to the point, and let me get down to this week's tutorial. I said week, yeah. How about that for pressure? I'm going to try and do one now every single week. Okay, right. Enough of me talking. Let's get into the tutorial. Right, hi guys, here we are in Blender 4.2.0. I'm pretty sure I'm up to date, but I haven't checked in a while because I haven't been messing around, because I've had a lot of things I needed to keep just in one piece of software. So that's what I've been doing, sticking in 4.2. Anywho, I've always had an issue in Blender, and I'm actually going to demonstrate it with the default cube. I know, not my usual sort of gig, but it's very much to do with something that I find is the only problem for me. And it has been since I moved away pretty much completely now from Maya. I mean, I only use it every now and again if I'm asked to use it, or if I have to do it in a project for someone else's company or whatever. And I'll still use it, I'm very happy to use it. But there is something in this Blender which it's always been an issue for me. If I move this over here, and if I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to do some scaling. So let's just see. We'll just scale it in the Z a bit, and let's do SX, and then bring that in. So it's like that. And I know what it is. I want to move my origin further up into my object. Well, in Maya, you press D and you just shift the pivot. How'd you do it in here? How do you do that actually in Blender? Well, do you know what? It's so simple. It's so simple, it's ridiculous. Up here, there's a thing called options. And as long as you're actually in this sort of editing kind of mode, in object mode, you go to options and you can see transform. Affect only the origins. Okay, well, I'll do that now. I want to move my origin. Oh yeah. Now you'll notice that suddenly you have what looks like X, Y, and Z beautifully visible. I'm going to go to the front view here by pressing 1 on my notepad, and I can move this up to here like this. And then I go back to my options and turn that off, and now I have an object which I can now rotate around here. Oh, I love that. That's done exactly what I want. That's great. That's done exactly what I want. Now what I want is I want to make my locations there 0. So I think, okay, fine. Also, my scales are not frozen. I need to basically freeze this information, which you can do in Maya really nicely. Okay, and you go, right, okay, well, let's go object, and let's go apply all transforms. Let's pick the object first. Doofus, Gary. Apply all transforms, and immediately all your hard work for your location is gone. So you go, okay, right, well, let's do this individually. Let's just say, let's apply the scale. Okay, there's the scale. Now I want to basically apply the location. I can't apply the location, can I? No, I can't apply the location, because every time I go object, apply location, or I go Control A and go location, it puts it back there, because it is resetting the position of the origin. Of course it is, because that's where you apply the location. I don't want to do that. I want to apply this so that that stays at 0. So I've got nice things that I can reset it to, because that makes animation a lot simpler than me having to do this, where you have to like create an empty and then put the empty in the same position there, which is a simple thing to do. You can simply just take the values of this and make an empty, and then move the empty up there, and then parent this to the empty, which immediately resets all this to 0 because it's taking its transform from the empty. But if I go Control A and I go location to deltas, basically that converts the normal object transform to a delta transform. So anything else that's involved in that translation of the location gets reset to 0. And that, my friends, is something that has been bothering me in Blender for so long. So long. I have been unable to find out how to do that for ages, because I'm an imbecile and I didn't check, guess where? On the Blender's website. Actually, in the manual is the only place I could find anything in reference to that. Now that essentially is something which in Maya has been a doddle from day one. A doddle from day one. Let's just reset the location delta. That's what it is. It's the location delta. It's not the location, it's the delta. But actually knowing that little bit of science means that because Blender is a slightly more science-based software in that respect, it's sort of like it's not normalized the language so much in it that you just do things because you know how to do them. I'll just freeze the location. Oh yeah, so you must mean here, and therefore you want it to reset all to 0. So we'll basically freeze your deltas. That's the correct thing to do. So that is what I should have been doing from the outset, and not knowing. So I'm just going to go through this again. So let's just do this again, just so you can get all of this. Let's say don't save that. Okay, go away, and we'll go straight the way back to our box. So you want to freeze all of that stuff. So let's make some changes to it. First, I'm doing an object mode, by the way, not edit mode, object, because it forces that you can see. It's changing the values up here. Scale X, so let's scale the X in like this. Let's scale the Z up, scale the Z. Let's Z up like this. Let's move it down. And then let's do that thing again where you got options, origins. So you can move just the origin up, not the actual object itself. So you've got the way you want the rotation point to be. And you to get that off. And now we want to freeze all of that stuff. What we do is we go Control A and we go rotation, Control A again, location to deltas, and Control A again and scale. So now I have something which, if I shift it all out of the place and it's all messy, I can just go and you're done, and you're back to where you wanted it to be. There you go. I said it was going to be simple, but so useful for rotationing. For the rotationing correctly of things. That's not really a word, but I'm going to stick with it because, hey, why not? Anyway, so there you go. That's it. Nice and simple, quick and easy. All done. Yeah? Don't want anything else? No. No, you won't. But you will get something, because there's another one coming up, which, again, is slightly longer than this one. Again, it's not a really, really quick tutorial, but it's one of those little things, particularly if you're going across from Maya. It's one of those little things that you go, how do I do this? Why does this not work? And it's because you haven't been told a little bit of information, which is such a game changer. And we'll come to that next. Okay, thanks again for tuning in. I will have another one for you very shortly. And so all I can honestly say is, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, bye.